Hello and welcome to the Books Crypto Club weekly catch-up on Zoom. It's Sunday, the 4th of July, 2021, so Independence Day. Let's see what we're going to talk about with the crypto world this week, whether it's DeFi, NFTs, latest news with Binance, Craig Wright's legal case. Who really knows what we're going to talk about? If you enjoy this, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, and click that little bell so you get alerted when we've got any other things coming along. Let's see who's joining us today. That's nice. Steve, good evening. Hello and welcome.
Hello. Hiya.
How's it going? You okay?
Yes, fine, thank you.
Yeah. And we've got a very dumbed down Sam there. Are you okay, Sam? You suffering?
I'm good. No, I'm brilliant. I'm just enjoying my cup of tea and a rich tea biscuit as an English gentleman does on Sunday, you know. So,
well, of course, if you have my cup, you might be able to see. You know, it's quite suitable for this. It was a gift given to me by a friend who's a local guy as well, who heard I was into crypto a little bit, and he got that. And he said, "Oh, you might like this." So that was good. Excellent, that's good. And we've got Fazal coming in and joining us as well. So we're getting a regular old contingent joining us now, haven't we?
Well, I'm glad to see you're keeping fit, Gary, anyway.
Well, I'm keeping alive. I'm not quite sure if fit's the right way of describing it, but I think in the lockdown world, you either get fit or you get fat. It's one or the other, and I'm trying not to get fat. So we'll see how we go on with that anyway. So, hey, Fazal, you joined us?
Yes. Hi. How you doing, Gary?
Hello. Good. Thanks. Hello. Welcome back. So, is everyone getting excited by all the news that's going on in the crypto world this week?
very much so. I think it's been it's bucked the trend. I think a little bit. A lot of people think it's going to be bearish, and I don't think we should get too excited though. It's just a little bit of a little bullish bounce, shall we say?
Yeah. Well, I found it interesting as well that the meeting last week, where we spent a lot of our time talking about Binance, and it turned out to be absolutely timely, because for several days afterwards, everyone was talking about, oh, I can't get into Binance, or I can't transfer funds and that. I think that's still ongoing. I don't know if anyone's heard anything different.
Yeah, so what I tried moving a couple of pounds from Santander to Binance, and I think within 2 minutes, they just returned it to my bank.
Okay.
They weren't allowing it. So I think to circumvent that, I tried it this morning, was to send euros via Revolut to Binance.
Okay.
And then change it to USDT. Yeah, so that works fine. I've never used Revolut before, but that was quite straightforward and simple to use.
Okay, because that Revolut has changed now, hasn't it? Because it used to be that you didn't actually take custody of the crypto, but I believe you now have a wallet that allows you to do that.
I think that, yeah. But I haven't withdrawn any money from Binance, so I don't know if anybody's tested that, as in...
Yep, tested that as well.
Oh, and it works, does it?
Yeah, you can withdraw GBP fine.
But does that go to your UK bank, or it's like a Revolut?
Yeah, you can withdraw GBP still fine, no problem. You just can't deposit GBP.
Okay.
There's no way to do that unless you buy the crypto directly, which is stupid. So I did what you said before and used Revolut. I had €3 in my Revolut account, so I sent it across to Binance, and it was in within a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
The only problem there is you got to buy your Bitcoin with euros, then, haven't you?
Yeah. So this deadline they gave them, because they said we're only going to give you 2 days by the end of June if you haven't complied. So I don't know what's happened now, because they haven't put anything on their website that they were meant to do to say we're not allowed to. Yeah.
Well, that's because Binance is playing the standard game. That the notification was written to a specific company, which was Binance something Holdings, I think it was.
Okay, Group Holdings, yeah.
Yeah, and so Binance said, well, Binance.com is not owned by that company, so it's got nothing to do with them type thing. So but Binance tend to weave their way around all the regulations quite cleverly. And this was the whole thing that whilst the FCA put the notice out, which basically said, don't promote anything that you're not regulated for, well, crypto is not regulated anyway, and so it didn't really have any effect. So it's kind of a bit of a red herring in a way. So But yeah, it's interesting talking about the receiving payments and everything. It's good that, Steve, you've actually tested the receiving GBP, because I know on one of the Facebook groups, I put a question out the other day about, has anyone managed to transfer GBP from Binance
There's
into
no option on the Binance
into the bank
thing to do
account
that anymore.
Right. Okay. And it was funny how many people said, "Oh yeah, it's still working for me. I can still put money into Binance." It's like, no, that's not the question I asked.
Yeah.
I asked, can you get it out? Not can you put it in? So
I think they're getting confused as well, because you can buy your crypto directly with GBP using your bank card. You just can't deposit
credit
GBP
card,
into your account. Yeah.
Okay.
HSBC never says no to money.
Hey,
That's my
Fernando.
experience. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
So throughout the whole process, I mean, I checked Binance and I saw that it was disabled. It actually said you cannot. Yeah. So that service was disabled. It doesn't matter money in or money out. But as soon as they enable it, I managed to get some money out to my bank account.
That's good. So, Sam, I just noticed that your hand went up and then came down. Was that you just testing the functionality of putting your hand up?
It was more about Revolut, to be honest. I'm like, I get a bit obsessed with things. As a historian, I'm a bit of an obsessive person. So anyway, when I started when I got into crypto about like 6 months ago, I talked to a lot of my work colleagues, and subsequently a few of them started to invest, and some of them had Revolut. And I don't know if it's because I was just a noob, but I'm on eToro, I'm on crypto.com, and I'm on Binance, and I could stake on all of those. That was and earn essentially interest. But on Revolut, that didn't seem possible. So and it just seemed that you didn't actually. And I started googling things, and some people were complaining on Revolut you don't actually own the crypto, or it's not your keys, not your crypto. A few comments like that. So I thought that the capacity of that app was then not so good in comparison.
We're only using it as a money transfer, aren't we, to transfer between currencies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're putting GBP in and transferring to whatever currency we need, like euros, and then transferring it out. So we're not holding the crypto on Revolut anyway.
Okay. So that was the thing where originally I thought that was the case, that when Revolut initially announced that you could buy and sell crypto, it wasn't actually that you own the crypto, it's you own the rights to access the crypto, which is subtly different. So you didn't have the keys, as you say. But I thought a couple of months ago, when I was still questioning this, people said that there was now a facility for Revolut where you had a custodial wallet, which then meant that you actually had the keys. Is that not the case then? As
I said, like it was only it was about a month ago, and my friend was saying that, how do I stake on here? And I was looking on his app, and I wasn't au fait with it, so could be that. But like basically, my job is just working with computers all the time, computer systems. So like I work in a Google school, so I'm basically not a complete noob when it comes to technology. I think I'm okay. So anyway, I could work all the other three and get them to earn interest on that one without knowing that you could get a wallet on there. I just wasn't able to stake any of his crypto for him. So then he got Binance and he got crypto.com instead as his apps. So he's transferred onto them now to own his own crypto.
Just to let you guys know that Revolut doesn't. You don't have an individual cryptocurrency wallet, okay? They are all stored in a pool virtual currency account, yeah? So that combines kind of a hot and cold wallets, yeah? So it's really a repository of virtual currency and private keys, yeah?
So that's what I thought, because this was my whole point about Revolut and about Ziglu and about eToro originally as well, that they were all promoting heavily about buying and selling crypto, but you didn't actually own the crypto. You own the rights to the crypto. So it was a great way of getting exposure, but you didn't get the private keys. You didn't get to store it on your own wallets or anything, which meant you couldn't transfer it directly. And then someone said a while ago that I remember with Revolut, if you wanted to use crypto, you paid a subscription fee or something, which I didn't do. And someone said that they changed it now where you could take custody of the crypto. So, Fernando, are you saying that's still not the case then with Revolut?
I don't know if you can take custody. I just know that you might want take custody, and they will probably transfer you to whatever wallet. I don't know, but they do not offer you a wallet. Okay. And it's very clear on their website. You just go and search on the website on the help. So it's some cryptocurrencies there, and I remember I was reading that a month or so ago when people talking about that. Yeah, but basically they just have is an internal ledger, you know, their own internal ledger, and then that basically shows your exposure to, you know, to the cryptos that you have in your account, basically, you know. But they definitely do not offer that, Gary.
Okay, that's good to know then, because sometimes you get these things where you think they don't do something and then they introduce it and no one tells you and you're suddenly out of date. Okay, that's good to know. Matt, hi, so you've come and joined us again.
Yeah, sorry, I had a little bit of trouble connecting.
No problem.
Yeah, I sent him the wrong link.
Yeah, oh, that could be why. But if it weren't for you, Steve, I wouldn't be here. So thank you, Steve.
Oh, well done, guys. I try and use the same link. I try and use the same link each week, so it's nice and consistent. So, but occasionally with Zoom, occasionally with Zoom, you get the odd error.
Yeah, send him the whole code.
Yeah. Matt, was that your child saying buy Ethereum then or something?
Oh, definitely. Teach them young, eh?
Exactly. It's never too early, is it? Yeah. You've now got, I saw someone whose 7-year-old daughter has put an NFT up on, I think it's on Rarible or OpenSeas. So, you know, if you can teach kids at that age to get into these kind of things, then why not? That's good. Yeah. Hey, and Raj has joined us as well. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Is this your first time, Raj, or have you been with us before?
It is my first time. I just saw there is I keep following, you know, cryptocurrency on other channels, YouTube and other stuff. But, you know, I wanted to join this meetup group, Bucks Cryptocurrency Club, but, you know, I didn't get a chance today. I just saw literally the invite and just joined straight away. Hope,
great.
Too late.
Sorry, I was just going to say welcome aboard. Yeah, it's like it's always good to get new faces and that kind of thing. And it's great as well. We're building up a collection of people who come along each week and that, which is great. So we've got the regulars with, you know, like Steve and Sam and Chris and that, who can always share the latest news of what they're up to and experiences they're having, which means if you're newer to this space, that's fantastic. So have you been involved in crypto for a while, or are you just learning about it?
Yeah, you know, I bought my first Bitcoin in 2017 bull market for 700, and ever since I got so much fascinated into the cryptocurrency. You know, I keep following whenever I can how the cryptocurrency blockchain works, etc. I'm a software engineer myself. I was briefly involved in developing blockchain related technology as well. Not so much, but yeah, for a brief period of about a couple of months. Yeah, I've been following this space now and then. Not, you know, not so much, but yeah, regularly.
Okay. Well, it's funny with you saying that you bought Bitcoin in 2017, because we seem to have several waves of people getting into the space. So for many people, you know, if you got into it about 2010, 2011, you're a real early adopter. And then I think 2016, 2017 was the next wave, which then had the crash at was it the end of 2017? I think it was, where it dropped below $20,000. And everyone moved away. And now everyone is coming into it again. And you got this kind of third wave. So 2017, it's like, oh, he's a veteran. You've been doing it for a while. So guys, what else has been happening this week? I know that we've still got fun with Binance still refusing, or sorry, some banks still not accepting faster payments, I think it is, or something. But what else is going on? I saw Craig Wright's court case came up in London, and because it wasn't defended.
Fake Toshi.
Yeah. But it was kind of funny. I don't know if any of you are following it, but
I'm the guy is a nutter, you know.
He's a character. He's an interesting guy. Having seen him live at that conference in 2017, was it the Crypto Compare or something? It was a seminal event with him and Roger Ver and Tony Vase and everything. But for those who don't know, Craig Wright, who claims that he's kind of like the Satoshi, and he wrote the original white paper, and he's been defending this and this kind of thing over a while. And he's taken Bitcoin.org, I think it was, the website, to task with them having the Satoshi white paper on their website, because he's saying, hey, that's not your white paper, that's my white paper. Take it down because you're using that to suggest that you're the originators of Bitcoin. And it ended up with a court action, and it ended up in the UK High Courts last week, where he was defending his case that he's the author of the paper and is therefore Satoshi. And it was about to be a really, really interesting thing, because this would have gone through court for him to finally prove or disprove as to whether he was Satoshi or not. So, you know, this would have been a major turning point. But unfortunately, the defendant, who goes by the name of Cobra, I think it is, on social media, failed to reveal their identity. And therefore, the case was awarded to Craig Wright by default. So they didn't look at the evidence or anything like that. They said, well, the other person's not here to defend themselves. And so Craig Wright's run. So Bitcoin.org's had to take the white paper down, has had to say court action, blah, 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 blah. And we're now no further as to whether Satoshi really is Craig Wright or not. So
definitely not, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, I don't know if you guys saw that video of him. I can't remember which I think it was just he was talking at some university. I'm going to paste here so you guys can have a look later on the message. Basically says, at some point, he says, when, you know, I read the white paper, and then he goes, probably when I wrote it. I don't know if you saw that one. I mean, straight away there, people said this guy is a bullshitter, you know, totally.
I was at the conference in London, and Fernando, I think you may have been as well, where Craig Wright was on stage talking about this, and he did actually say about whoever wrote the white paper or whatever. And I was sitting quite close to Tony Vase, who was in the audience, who's a Bitcoin maximalist. And I think he picked up on it straight away and said, hey, what do you mean when it was written? So this is proof that you didn't write it, blah, blah, blah. And I actually think if you check my YouTube channel, I might have that outburst tucked away on one of my YouTube things, because it was just so funny. It was a great thing. So.
I mean, the guys didn't bother to turn up to the court action because they were not based in UK. And
well, it was
they said they were busy.
it was all done by Zoom.
Yeah, but they said they were busy. They couldn't be bothered.
Yeah,
they're not taking it down. They're not going to take it down. You know what he's going to do? Yes, he actually has to prove that he is the owner, and there's no way he can prove he is the guy who created the white paper.
Well, the response from Cobra, who's the anonymous guy who wouldn't reveal his identity, is because Craig Wright's been awarded costs. Then this guy said, well, okay, I'll pay the costs, but I'll pay it to block 9 of the Bitcoin wallets, which Satoshi owns.
Yeah, look, Satoshi sent a message like last year, wasn't it? And said, you know, this is to prove that Craig Wright is a liar. You remember that about a year ago?
There was all sorts like that. Yeah, I just noticed, sorry, Sam, were you going to add something on that, or was it something different?
It's thematically similar, but not the same topic. So something, Fernando, you had a bit of a debate about XRP, the court case. So this, there's some YouTubers that I listen to pretty much every day, and one of them's Altcoin Daily, and they had BitBoy, who has the largest following on all of the interwebs, but not YouTube anymore because he's been overtaken by Coin Bureau, much to his chagrin. But anyway, he went on there and they were talking about XRP, and they're talking about the court case. And I mean, BitBoy, he's a bit of a moon boy, but you know, his fingers on the pulse. And he was he's just saying he definitely thinks that XRP they're going to win. They're going to win that court case. And the most the SEC can do is give them like a little slap on the wrist. Like they've basically lost. They know they've lost. They deferred it till like I think October or like, and that's right at the like the altcoin bull run should really top around there. And so Bitboy come up with a price which I think is a little bit fanciful, but even if it's half of this, you're looking at some pretty good gains if you're in XRP by the end of the year. He said it's going to go to $30 now. Now that I'm hearing you laugh. I've already put my caveat in.
If you know Bitboy well, I know
yeah.
Look, if you know Bitboy well, he knows that. I mean, this is being recorded, so I can't say much. But
if I go like this, what I can do, I can always edit out the next bit if you want.
They will not win the court case for one simple reason. Yeah, they might settle or whatever. Yeah, but because it passes the Howey test. There's no way that they can avoid that unless in court this lawyer says the Howey test is not fit for purpose anymore, and that means the whole thing around security laws have to be totally changed. And you know why? You start to get it straight away into discussions about fungibility, you know, and the fact is that they were, and still today, it's not decentralized. They own 65%, you know, Brad and two more guys of all the tokens, you know, so they basically just selling securities. There was only 3 nodes. Yeah, when they started, there was only 1. When they start to sell it, that's a security. It does not fall into cryptocurrency, you know. So from the moment it passes the Howey test, you know, there's no way they can win the court case, you know. Yes, there could be a lot of things like, yeah, but you said this in your memos about XRP compared with Bitcoin, all the stuff they are taking from internal communications at the SEC. That's their lawyers. That's how they're going to try to win the case. But I mean, how can they avoid? Because the SEC is going to be always focused on you pass the Howey test because X, Y, and Z. And they cannot say they don't. It's very simple.
Is everyone familiar when we mention the Howey test about what that's about? Okay, so a couple of shaking heads. So it's worth sharing this. So the US SEC, but by virtue of its name, Securities Exchange Commission, is responsible for securities. So things like shares and other financial instruments, it has a responsibility for them. The Howey test was created, I think it was the 1920s or 1930s or something. I can't remember the full history, but for some reason I'm thinking of
33, I believe.
Yeah. Well, was it an Orange Grove or something? It was some sort of company anyway that was trying to sell something, and they use what's called a Howey test to determine if something is a security, so something that is a regulated financial instrument for the purposes of raising funds for a company. So it's kind of like, is it a share? And the Howey test comprises a number of questions.
Questions.
It is an investment of. Is it an investment of
5?
It's an investment of money. There is expectation of profits, you know, etc., etc. I mean,
open to interpretation. Some of them.
Yes, it's still correct.
But it's kind of a guidance, and as a guy from the SEC said a while ago, it's kind of like the duck test. The duck test being, if it quacks like a duck, waddles like a duck, and flies like a duck, it's probably a duck. And so that the Howey test is kind of to give this guidance that if people are offering something for sale, which the person buying it has a reasonable expectation of profits, that it's going to be managed by somebody else other than them, and a couple of other things, that it's classed as a security, which means it's regulated, which means that you have to go through the US SEC registration process for a regulated security. And so this is the whole thing that XRP, which is the cryptocurrency that Ripple have developed, and you know there is a difference, as Fernando will be keen to point out, there is a difference between Ripple, the company, the platform, and XRP, which is cryptocurrency, is that XRP, the SEC is saying, well, you use that to raise money. The people who bought it had a reasonable expectation that they were going to make money out of it, therefore it's a security. That's kind of what the case hinges on, if I remember correctly. Have I got that about right, Fernando?
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah. So the reason it's important is because at the moment, XRP has been delisted from a number of exchanges who are getting a little bit nervous about the court decision. Because if it turns out that the SEC says, yes, XRP is a regulated security, then it means all the exchanges are potentially liable for trading in a regulated security that hasn't been approved. So they get into trouble as well. On the converse, if it is accepted that it's not a security and it is a true cryptocurrency, then at the moment, I think the price of Ripple is about 80 cents or something, 80 to 89 cents. I think
already.
Steve,
I was
think
67.
49.3.
I was going to say, Steve's probably looking it up. What is it, Steve?
49.312.
That's in pounds. He's looking at it. So,
I was going to say
Sorry, pounds. Yeah.
I was thinking mentally there, 0.72 times whatever.
69 cents.
Yeah, Fernando, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm right in pounds.
So 69 cents. Now, if it turns out that it is classed as a crypto, then we could see that rise quite significantly. And as always, this is not financial advice or recommendation, blah, 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 blah. But if the court case is favourable, then this is why, as Sam was saying, there was some talk about it going to, I think $30 is what the one I'm seeing mentioned quite a lot, which could be quite attractive. But, this is not a recommendation, folks.
Yeah, look.
Market cap be then?
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
$30.
Well, this is it, that it would be a market cap which is more than the national debt of the planet kind of thing. It'd be in the trillions, wouldn't it, if I remember correctly?
It's never going to happen. People never, exactly what Steve said, people never do the maths and look, what's the market cap if it's $15? I mean, it's crazy.
It goes up from 69 cents to $30. What's the market cap going to end up? Be more than Bitcoin.
But we're in a crazy world anyway. I mean, I think I shared it here a few weeks ago. I was sitting in my local park, just having a cup of coffee, watching the world go by for a few minutes. Of this Cockney rebel-y young lad swaggering along. Can you still hear me? Okay, yeah.
Sounds kind of funny.
Oh, hang on.
It's okay now.
Talk amongst yourselves. Can you hear me?
Yep.
No?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So there's this guy walking along anyway with his girlfriend, the walking dog, and all of a sudden the girl's on the phone and she says, "Here, he wants to know what to buy." And she's obviously talking to one of her friends. And this lad who's swaggering along says, "Oh, tell him to buy Ripple XRP. It's $1.40 at the moment. It's going to go to $1.60." And I was just laughing my head off. Well, secretly laughing my head off, doing a bit of a mutley. Because you've just got this young couple of kids walking along talking cryptocurrencies and specifically about Ripple. And it's just so funny. And it was quite funny because it did go to 160 and then it dropped away again. So anyway, I think we're in a crazy world anyway when you get situations like that where you hear conversations and that. So
yeah, there's something that people need to understand as well now that we talk about XRP is that, it's well known that the people at Ripple, they've been selling out. I mean, they used to have 85% of all the tokens, yeah. So they basically selling, and then when the price reaches whatever level, they dump a lot of it, yeah, crashes the price, everybody sells out, and then they buy low again and bring back again to the 85%. And they've been doing that for years, and that's the problem that many people have with them. So anyone, from my perspective, any cryptocurrency where you have 2 or 3 holders, yeah, that have control of more than 51%, I will not put even a penny on it, ever, because you're going to be manipulated. There's no other way. I mean, I know people lost a lot of money in XRP, yeah? Thank God I was not one of them, but you will get manipulated. Simple as that. And you know how it works, yeah? For some to win, some will have to lose, It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the other thing, that there's a lot of people who are coming into this space, and this is why I know a few people who are from traditional financial markets who are really worried about manipulation and how they just don't understand the market kind of thing. They don't like it. But a lot of people are coming into this saying, well, yeah, maybe it is manipulated, maybe it's rigged. Actually, that's just like the fiat markets. It's not actually that different. And as long as I can make some money on the way up, I don't care. Which I agree is irresponsible, maybe, but can be profitable. And so people are happy with the profits.
Yeah, just a warning on XRP, and no financial advice. It comes with all the caveats, as you guys know.
Yeah.
But if the ruling comes out and said, yeah, it passes the Howey test, therefore it's a security. Yeah. Basically, if you have any XRP, that's it. You cannot trade it anymore anywhere. It's not going to be listed anywhere. It automatically gets delisted by, well, I'm pretty sure Binance will stop it straight away, you know, even.
Is it still on Binance though? I didn't think it was.
Yes, it
Okay.
is. Yeah. I think it's pretty much one of the very few that has it. But,
Okay.
you know, that's because CZ has been for 4 years, you know, avoiding setting up home somewhere, you know, I think he can do that.
Fair enough.
So
Sam,
sorry, you said
something again?
you're making me think now. So sorry, you're saying if they win, I can't sell, i.e. trade my my XRP.
So if XRP loses, in court,
yeah,
and if the SEC wins, so basically you have a non-tradable asset. It's not a cryptocurrency anymore. It becomes a security. What happens next? Oh, who knows? Depends on the judge. If the judge says, and now you have to refund back everyone that has XRP, you know, and they will come up with a price, etc. So there's going to be audits, you know, how much they, and this is the critical thing, because if it goes to that, we will find out how much they sold, you know, and how much they bought when it was at the bottom, and if were they manipulating or not the XRP buy and sell of, you know, and that will shock many people, I think, if it goes to that. So, and that's when I think that probably Ripple then wants to settle, so it doesn't go through that, you know. It's going to be very interesting. Now, if it's going the other way around, it could be on technicalities, you know, and judge might say, yeah, it passes the Howey test, but you said this about Bitcoin, you know, the internal memos and the XRP, and they might then settle. It doesn't mean that Ripple has won the court case, you know. If the judge says it passed the Howey test, it is actually then a security. Now, just to put in context of everything, if Ripple wins, yeah, that means basically this court case will be used by anyone that that SEC tries to bring into a law action, because, you know, there's so many cryptos created, and this is not the last one. This Cardano, for example. No, the next one it will be XLM, okay, Stellar, because you know, the guy was the CTO of Ripple, and he just basically took a copy of the entire source code and created Stellar, you know, with a few bells and whistles. So exactly a copy of XRP, yeah? So that's going to be the next one, because he did exactly the same thing. It was a database and he was selling securities, simple as that. So there's the repercussions is that basically crypto becomes legalized in the US, you know, and that brings a lot of other questions, you know.
I think that's the other thing, it sets precedent. Raj, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I have a question around here, because how does it work? Because XRP is traded on the exchanges, Binance, Kraken, etc., right? If Ripple loses the case, and if they have to refund the money to all the customers, and if I hold my XRP being in China, is the exchange, how does it work to get the money back into my pocket?
The exchanges will stop trading. So the exchange say, that's it, you know, we can't trade anymore. You have, if you want your XRP, you can take it out of the exchange. They will give you, I don't know, 20 days, yeah, 30 days, and they have to find a way to take your XRP out of the exchange, yeah. to some wallet, and then potentially have to claim directly to Ripple. I don't know. I'm just thinking what could potentially happen.
Interesting to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes back, as Fernando says, it depends upon what the judgment is, because what has happened previously is that the court or the SEC have said something is a security, however, we are not going to take any further action. So that's one thing. Or it might be they issue what's the equivalent of a cease and desist order, which limits things. Or they may actually go in for the full-blown, you have to refund investors type thing, which no one really knows what that means. As you say, if you've bought it off an exchange, who is your contract with? Because it really is up in the air. So I think it's going to be a question of seeing what the decision is.
There is a bit of confusion, a lot of confusion actually, because SEC is, US-based markets and who bought through the US exchanges, etc. And they probably go through the judgment and claim the Ripple. But what about the people, rest of the world, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of confusion around it. Yeah.
And this is where it's really interesting as well, because it's one of these highly controversial, highly volatile, hopefully ground setting and breaking in terms of setting precedents in that if it goes one way, it means that XRP is worth 0. And if it goes the other way, it could be it's worth a significant amount. And so, some people are buying into it as a gamble of, well, if this goes up, it could be phenomenal. And, some people are staying well clear of it. I mean, I just like holding a little bit of XRP just to annoy the Bitcoin maximalists, just because they really get upset by it.
Well, it's better to buy Safe Moon, to be truly honest.
So
you have more chance to make more money than XRP.
That probably links in nicely. Actually, I was going to ask anyone any thoughts on anything else in the market at the moment, or Sam?
I want to share something with you guys. World Mobile, the WMC, it's a British company. So just go and find World Mobile token. So basically today, you can actually make a reservation of the token. Just go there, make a reservation. It's proper KYC, and then I think tomorrow it's when it actually goes live. And it's a very interesting company. They basically are going. It's a Cardano native token. Okay, so they've been working with Charles for a while, and Charles' team, and these are the guys that are doing that stuff in Tanzania, and that's why Cardano and Charles are doing these things about Tanzania and so on. And what they're going to provide is basically infrastructure for the people in Africa. There's several problems. People think that these problems are disappearing, but they aren't, because people have a mobile, and so what? They can't really use it for anything apart from Google and so on, So they are providing as an infrastructure. They're raising money for that, and they have a token they are launching. It's a very interesting project. So
check out World Mobile token.
Yeah, World Mobile.
How do you buy this token? Like where? On what platform?
Just go to World Mobile token, and you have to do KYC there first, So
okay,
you can't just buy it like that at the moment, because they're still talking with the exchange. So basically, this is kind of a sort of a pre-sale or sale of the tokens ahead of actually being listed, on an exchange.
Okay.
So they have to do KYC through their platform, okay?
And Steve's admitted he's got some already. So if that launches and does really well, then we can all party in North Wales with Steve.
That'd be that. It's only $50 or pounds. I can't remember.
Well, the great thing about these kind of things, though, is that if they go up 1,000-fold, then that's still quite a lot.
What
I find interesting,
times, I'm happy.
What I find interesting is that I think they're probably going to be the first ones to launch a Cardano native token.
Okay.
I'll be on Cardano then, Fernando. I didn't think you were such a fan. I mean, you spoke about it before, and you're talking about the functionality, and it was just a white paper. I remember in our first chat.
I think they're gonna go. It's going slow for years already, but I think finally they have a team working, and I actually think that they have big look. They have big backers. You know, they have B1 whatever called Mellon, the bank in New York. They bought a lot of it. You know, they've been. I mean, there's a lot of people. There's Singularity. DAO, you know, from the guys that create Sophia the robot, you know, Singularity Net, they're actually moving everything to Cardano. You know, there's Occam, another project. I mean, there's lots and lots of people creating projects, but the smart contracts are not ready. I know it's almost there. Yeah. And when that's ready, I think you're going to start to see a lot of traction. If that happens, I can see then ADA going probably to about $5 to $6 very, very quickly, you know.
And I think the thing that Cardano's always had about it is it's got a pretty strong development team, hasn't it? And it's got a reputation with like Charles Hoskinson being behind it. So so you're right. They've taken time to get where they are. I was reading something the other day that was making some comments about some progress that they're making this year. It sounds pretty good. So maybe we'll see that lift off at last.
I hope so, because too much in Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum has so much on it. It has to be someone else to balance things, you know.
Got a crazy community as well, Cardano. Like they've got this like huge, like they're really trying to build that community quite carefully. Like their vice president was doing some YouTube like massive Zoom thing on loads of people all over the world are attending, and they're trying to make everything like kind of democratic and decentralized within their company. So I attended this like YouTube seminar type thing the other day, and I even I've started up a coding club in the school. I'm a history teacher. Got very into like IT, and so I've started learning a bit of coding. And I've sent an email to
IOHK.
Yeah, input output. So anyways, I sent them an email and said that, you know, can you do something like kid friendly for Plutus? So maybe I could learn some Plutus coding. But anyway, so and I'm trying to get I've worked for an academy chain, and so what I've actually done, I've got in contact with the head of IT. We've got about 60-70 schools, and I'm going to try and get him to see if he could work with Cardano and try and use a bit of influence. A bit of a long shot, but hey, imagine if he got into some academy chains in the UK and showed the broader functionality of Cardano. That would be a good thing. And I hold quite a bit of Cardano, so it'd be good for me as well. So,
okay.
I mean, a little bit.
Well, that's all good stuff. Excellent. Hey, Don. See, Don's just joined us.
Hello.
Hey, how's life in the fast lane?
Okay, we went out for a picnic, which is why I didn't make the beginning, and it started raining, so gave up. Thought I'd come back and join in.
But normally we have Hussein normally joins us, and he sits outside, which is great when the weather's okay, but it's been raining on and off today, so I think he's not taking that chance.
With his glass of wine.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the right idea. But it's definitely a shower dodging day today. So just thinking, anything else in the news of interest worth sharing from anybody? No.
I want
Internet
to share.
land. Sorry, you go, Fernando.
I want to share something so you guys are aware. There's a lot of longs at the moment, okay? Really a lot, okay? So usually when that happens, the liquidation bots, they tend to go the other way. Yeah, so they'll go after the longs, which means they'll start to sell their crypto, and you could potentially see in the next couple of days, potentially, yeah? You never know what the guys on the bots do, but you could see another test going back to 31, 30, you know, Bitcoin and everything else. But you never know, yeah? So I was just doing an analysis, and I look at the longs at the moment. I was like very surprised. I was like, my God, you know, people still shorting and longing at, you know, it's silly because, you know, when it is in that band between 28 and 43, you know, and it's been all for 2 months there, you know, it's kind of a very risky when people start to short and long, you know. And so
well, are they doing that through futures contracts then?
Sorry?
Are they doing that through futures contracts?
Yeah, all sorts of things that they get up to, you know. So I just I'm not a guy that does that at all. I don't go short and long. I think that should be disappearing from crypto totally. That's my personal opinion.
It's one of those things. Originally, I really liked the principles behind cryptocurrency and the fact that it was quite pure and that you couldn't sell what you didn't have and all this kind of thing. Then people started introducing futures and gearing,
leverage, 100x.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
You can do it on Binance.
Yeah. And it's the kind of thing that basically the crypto world has now replicated all that's bad about traditional finance, but have done it with coding instead and haven't probably fully tested it yet. So an interesting time. So I was going to ask Don, with you joining us, you got any new stuff going on at the moment? Anything of interest worth sharing?
You were just talking about the trading and all this, and I wanted to just put a link up. The guy who used to run BitMEX, the original, you know, they were the first, I think, he come up with 100 times leverage. He wrote a really good. He's actually a really good analyst. But he writes a thing called. I've just found the link here. What do you call a blog? So on the 24th of June, he wrote this thing that I still can't draw a line. It's quite a long read, but just read it. You'll have quite a good giggle, because he talks about leverage, and one of the things he does is he works out the leverage of the Fed and of the banks, and yeah, it's great. It's quite humorous because I think the Fed is 800 times, something crazy like that. How do I post this link?
You should.
It's quite old.
Okay.
It won't. Hang on, I got the link here. But he's well worth reading. He's a bit of. No, what do I just post?
Well, we just put it in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Type message here. That's what I want.
Always useful.
There you go. It's there.
Cool. Excellent. Okay. So there you go. blog.bitmex.com. So we can take a look at that separately. I'll stick that into a couple of groups later, and I'll see about. I'll include that in the YouTube video as well, so people can refer to it. It's always quite useful.
I'm trying to. I mean, he's got some interesting points. I mean, like he points out that when Mount Gox went down, they lost 750,000 Bitcoin, which represented 7% of the supply.
Okay.
So can you imagine what would happen in the global financial system if 7% of the USD supply just went boom? You know, he said, did they get a bailout? No. But hang on, I want to just try and. You know, he's got it in here somewhere. It's an interesting read. He's quite a fun writer. It's he talks about how leverage works in crypto, and because that crash in March last year, I mean, granted it was related to COVID and the general state of the markets, but BitMEX, I thought it was going to zero. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I was awake. It was about 2-3 in the morning, and I remember watching it. It was unbelievable. Here you go. Let me just see.
What, you got another one?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So my research assistant compiled public filings for the following central banks to determine their leverage ratios. So it's got the Federal Reserve, the ECB, Bank of England, all the way down to the Netherlands Bank. And in total, these banks represent $36.5 trillion worth of assets. They are leveraged. Wait for it. This is the way he speaks, right? He says, oh yeah, the drop is coming. Your head is about to explode because the baseline is so dirty. 96.35 times.
Well, I've seen all sorts of horror stories about the fiat financial world, and about, you know, debt, leverage, supply chain shortages, banks printing money, quantitative easing, all of it. It kind of all routes point to finding yourself a cottage in the middle of Wales, stocking up on water and tin goods, and staying away for a while, I think. So, well, thanks for sharing that. I'll put that into the video as well.
I don't know if everybody, well, I don't, maybe don't follow him, but because of 2008, I got interested in Rubini and Nero Rubini. So to me, he's an interesting fellow because he claims that he called the crash, and he sort of kind of did. I mean, other people might have a different opinion, but I remember sort of watching it real time. And he kind of suggested that there might be a problem with the sort of housing market. And then as things unfolded, he sort of jumped on it and went, yeah, that's what I meant. But it was, yeah, like, look, I mean, so at the time he looked like he was a little bit prescient. But the point is, he just a couple of days ago, he put out a piece of research that doesn't matter what we do, we are buggered. We're going into stagflation.
I think I read that.
Doom and gloom.
I read that because he is known as like the doom and gloom monster type thing. And again, he was quite entertaining at the crypto conference, which we were talking about before with like Craig Wright and Roger Ver and Tony Vays and a few others and that. Because you had Nero Rubini going head to head with all the crypto people and everything, and yeah, he was absolutely doing good. But you're right, he's called it right a couple of times. But then, like Nassim Taleb, who now calls himself a philosopher, again he called it right in I think it was the 2008 crash. But he actually went out and I think he shorted the market in some way, and he did phenomenally well out of it.
Yeah,
so
he calls it a tail hedge. Yeah.
So it's a good one. Right, we've only got a few minutes left of the day. These things fly by. I was going to ask if anyone else has got anything else worth sharing. Raj has put his hand up. Go for it.
Yeah, I was wondering. I've been, looking at the chart of the, S&P and the stock market, etc. And it's going up and up and up, even after the pandemic. No impact. Absolutely, it's still going up. Any thoughts? It might come down this year or beginning of next year. Any wild thoughts at all? I don't get it. I mean, they're printing a lot of money. People are not very productive 100%. I don't know why it's going up. Any thoughts?
I asked about this last week, didn't I? Stock market's going up.
Yeah, there's something insane. I ran a one-day workshop with finance officers in the Gulf states a few weeks ago, and we were talking about where are we in the economic cycle. And you would think, as you say, with COVID, supply chain problems, governments printing money, unemployment rising, you'd expect a mixture of inflation and stagflation right now. And you'd expect, therefore, for share prices to be dropping. No, the share price is going up through the roof. I've forgotten what oil's at the moment, but that was doing some crazy things. Gold and precious metals, as you'd expect, I think are going up. I just have not got a clue because the markets are not behaving the way you would think they should behave.
My shares gone up 11% this week.
Yeah.
In the last couple of weeks, 11.11%. They've gone up.
All-time highs.
Yeah.
All-time highs.
Yeah, skyrocketing.
It's not going to last, there's no more money printing. That's been already told, we were told already in US, here as well. And it's a question of time now. I would say, if not before end of July, for sure in September, we're going to see some. And when it goes down, you can see a massive flow of money to crypto, because that's what usually happens.
Yeah, I think it's what's between the two.
Yeah.
Bear in mind,
exactly.
there are, a few more trillion to be printed, isn't it? So as long as that money getting pumped into the market, I think it can still keep up.
Well, that's the other thing as well, that if you look at the scale of things, the crypto market is currently about 1.5 trillion or something. That is still,
I think the high was about 1.2.
okay, So that's,
yeah,
still,
but,
that's
yes.
yeah, but compared to traditional finance markets, that's not even 3/4 the valuation of Apple. So it's still pretty tiny in a way, which is where you're right. If you look at how you typically have safe harbor assets that people in times of worry go to. So this is the old gold, silver, property, fine arts, this kind of thing. Crypto was beginning to be seen as being a safe harbor route. So as you say, once you got traditional market uncertainty, people are expecting a flight towards crypto, but it didn't happen for a while. And so
there's a lot of money a lot of money at the moment in crypto is being investing in mining operations, because the Chinese, as you all know, there was a close down. So basically, mining now is 35% more profitable. Yeah, and the difficulty adjustment helped as well, because there was less miners, because China shut down. So automatically the code adjusts and adjusted, and now I think you can get the current price about per miner something like $28 a day or something like that, which is not bad at all, really. So there's a lot of people I know, because there was just this week 3 guys asked me if I knew anybody who could sell miners from China, and these are people with a lot of money that ask me this, so there's a lot of investment at the moment in that,
Yeah, I think it's just ever more crazy times trying to work out what's going on. I'm just convinced that there's now a whole, I don't know what's a collection of butterflies, but there's a whole collection of these things in the Amazon, and they're all frantically flapping the wings. And if you understand rationality and randomness, then it's these butterflies that are causing the problems. So
yeah, I mean, if the stock market comes down, crypto, I don't believe crypto can survive. Even all these Wyckoff, all these whatever methodologies people are following, nothing is going to work. I mean, it's going to follow the stock market ultimately, I suppose.
Yeah, but I offer no predictions, certainly not around financial recommendations and that kind of thing. Because usually I'm quite good at getting it wrong. So probably the only recommendation I can offer is do the opposite of what I suggest. Guys, last couple of minutes. Anything else hot going on? Sam, you just...
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, Fernando, if you could just say that that name of the company again, the telecommunications one, I'd appreciate that. And one other thing, Internet Land. I saw Coin Bureau shitting this on one of his videos. Has everyone seen this? He thinks it's going to go really big in the in the dip next year when everything crashes. He thinks that they're going to use Internet Land to do online casinos or something like that. I was watching one of his videos. Has anyone bought any land on it, like digital land? Has anyone done that?
Is that allowed in virtual games?
Like Joel, it's just like another stream that I was going to put into. I just can't remember the. Thank you, Fernando, for bringing it. I just couldn't remember the exact name. I just wondered if anyone had bought any digital land whatsoever.
I regret I didn't buy in the beginning of the year or December Earth 2. So if you Google Earth 2, it's a virtual world. You could only buy, I think you can only buy with credit card at the moment, but they want to put crypto as well. But all central London was available, all the Dubai Mall, central Dubai, all of that was available, and I regret I didn't buy that. It's worth I would make now probably $2-3 million easily if I sold that. Easily. With about $2,000 or $3,000 investment if I had done that. And it's one of the things that I truly regret I didn't do it.
So there you go. Fernando's like me. If you want some good financial advice, don't do what Fernando does. Right, guys, we're out of time again. Thank you very much for coming along. Thanks for sharing stuff. Hope for those who just listened really that you found it interesting. I'll pop the recording of this up later, where I'll also include the websites, the links that were mentioned. Be safe, have fun, wash your hands, and have a great week.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye now.
Gary.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Lovely. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.